We had problems there in the right lane. Drive into your locally owned and operated Mr. Lube for warranty-approved oil changes and same-day tire services. Missed appointment needed. From the News Talk 1010 Traffic Center, I'm Robin Metcalf.
Sometimes finding your way means following your heart, even if you don't know where it might lead.
No matter where I went, a part of me would always be here.
A new season of Sullivan's Crossing starts Sunday at 7:10 Mountain on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
I know that everyone is concerned with getting the most money for their property, and with Franklin Associates, you don't have to worry because the multi-million-dollar marketing system reaches millions of potential buyers to ensure you get top dollar. But one problem that has hurt many fans is not having the funds available to pay for the home they purchased. We need to sell our current home to pay for the new one. Because let's face it, most of us don't have millions of dollars or whatever the price is sitting around a suitcase somewhere. But what happens if you can't sell your home, or the closing dates don't match, and the bank won't lend you the bridge? You get sued. Your life becomes a nightmare, and this has cost many families everything. So, you better make sure to avoid the stress and lawsuits by calling the only team that has the solutions and will guarantee that you can buy your next home on time without the stress of potential lawsuit. The Buyer Guaranteed Home Purchase Program is there for you. Call 416-917-5466. That's 416-917-LION. Or go online to getleo.com and start packing with confidence.
I'm Andrew Burgell.
And I'm Elon Burgell.
At Burgell McGinsey, we know that accidents affect the injured person. They affect their entire family.
We'll listen and help you understand your rights. And we'll fight to get you the compensation you deserve.
For over 50 years, Burgell McGinsey has recovered hundreds of millions of dollars for injured clients and their families.
Let the Burgell McGinsey family take care of your family.
Burgell McGinsey, 416-665-2000.
Tomorrow on TSN 1050, the Battle of Ontario rolls on as your Toronto Maple Leafs face off against the Ottawa Game 2 of the first round. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. Hear it all on TSN 1050. The Leafs live here. This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by TaylorMade. This segment of GTC is brought to you by WeatherTech Canada, Canada's leader in automotive accessories. Visit weathertech.ca.
Golf Talk Canada rolls on here. Adam Scully alongside Bob Weeks. And before we get into talking with the notables at the RBC Heritage, Bob, in Toronto, some nicer temperatures coming up here. The start of golf season for some potentially has happened outdoors. Have you hit golf balls outside yet, Bob?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to have some weather by Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be nice. I'm going to be out there. I've got a tee time. I can't remember if it's Friday or Saturday. I got a tee time. I got to see if I can sneak away for that. But yeah, listen, we've had a slow start to this season. There are courses open now. I know that. I can see that coming around. Some of them are now. It's a little. I'm not like James Duthie, who goes out and plays. Even in single digits, he'll go out and play, but it just seems a little strange. I usually take it a little bit warmer, and I don't have to push it too much. But yeah, what about you? Are you gonna get out this week, or do you think?
So I did play Dentonia on Friday, so I was outdoors. I wore shorts. I kind of felt like Rydell, actually, because the shorts, well, it was a bold move. It was a little chilly, but I did laugh as I was on one of the tees waiting, and I thought I might be the only person who's done the Augusta Dentonia back-to-back double.
Yeah, I think so. I'd be pretty sure that's just about it. The first one. By the way, an update for you from the marathon. A Canadian through 20 miles of 26 miles. A Canadian is in third place. So how about that, Rory Linkletter?
There you
how
go,
about that?
Rory Linkletter. Okay,
pretty
no
impressive.
relation to Frank.
Not quite as. It's not. Yeah. It's not quite as impressive as the Augusta. You're back to back there, Dentonia. I'm just laughing at those two back to back. Oh man, golf's a wonderful sport.
It really is, and I was actually I was at Islington Golf Club yesterday for Easter dinner with some family, and their outdoor range was open at Islington, where they have a net set up. It's about 30 yards long with some technology in there to see where your balls fly. So I know my course Bayview opens Tuesday, so we're 8 days away from opening, and things are happening.
Oh, 8 days away, like a week tomorrow.
Like a week, yes, 8 days from right now, not tomorrow.
Yeah, we're opening this weekend, so we're good.
Okay, well, looking forward to hearing and debriefing your first round, assuming you're able to get out and go play. But RBC Heritage, we got to talk about some of these notables who came up just short to Justin Thomas, starting with Andrew Novak. Had a putt to win in regulation, couldn't quite get it done, loses the playoff to Justin Thomas. Let's hear now from Andrew Novak.
Not so much as far as emotions. Like, I'm not as frustrated as I thought I would be, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I did a lot of good things. I'm pretty proud of putting myself in that position when I felt like I wasn't swinging it that great this week. The fact that I was able to scrap out like almost a win with not really swinging my best. The irons kind of were giving me issues at times. I hit a few good ones down the stretch, which was cool because, with the pressure on, usually it gets tougher, and I was still able to pull off some shots. So I was happy to see that. I thought I was a little bit more comfortable down the stretch than maybe I have been in the past. So, Justin just went out and won it. Like, there's nothing you can really do about it. I need to go out there and get a win at some point. But yeah, all of these finishes are great. I have big goals for the year. Obviously, like, this is going to look good for Captain Keegan, and I've got a lot more to do as far as that. But I'm putting my name up there, and next step is just to win.
Interesting. Andrew Novak said something really interesting that got my producer's hat on there for a second, something we haven't done yet this year. I think coming up on Wednesday's show, we'll do it as well on Monday. I think we should pick our Ryder Cup teams right now. What it would be, what Captain Keegan, what Captain Luke Donald will do. We'll start with the U.S. on Wednesday. We'll do Europe next week because no one really saw Andrew Novak having 3 top 10s and playing his way into the conversation. Captain Keegan Bradley, Bob, is going to have a lot of different options, including himself, to play for his squad come late September, won't he?
Yeah, there's probably going to be some new names on this team, I think. Some players that have not played in Ryder Cup or even President's Cup before, so I think you'll see a few of those. It's sort of Andrew Novak's year, if you look at it, is almost bizarre. Miscut, third. 13th, miscut. Tied for 13th, miscut. And then, miscut, tie for third, and playoff loss in his last 3 starts. So it's like feast or famine with what he's got. But in those good finishes, he starts to build up enough of a points base where, he's going to be a consideration. And if you are Keegan Bradley, you're going to have to, even if he doesn't make it into the top 6, you're going to have a look and say, okay, well, this guy's legit. Maybe he's the guy we want. Look at parts of his game. They do so much now with analytics, and when they come to their choices, that we'll see how that shakes out. But there's a few guys like Andrew Novak who I would say the casual sports fan probably doesn't know a lot about. But if you look at some of the stats and the figures and the results, it's hard not to at least give him a chance.
Andrew Novak, a great week. Runner-up finish to Justin Thomas. Now someone who was on the President's Cup team last year for the international side. He was a captain's pick, and that was Mackenzie Hughes. And we speak at length on this show about Mackenzie Hughes, how similar to Andrew Novak, feast or famine. He's a very streaky player, but he played very well this past week at the RBC Heritage. A tie for third for Mackenzie Hughes. Before we discuss the Canadian, let's hear from Mackenzie Hughes.
Oh man, it was playing tough out there, and I played awesome. I had a chance to win today. I missed a few shortish chances. Had like a 5-footer on number 5, and I missed like a 5-footer on 11, and just it was one of those days where I hit some really, really great iron shots, really close, and I could kind of feel I had something going early. And yeah, it's just a shot here or there, and I'm right there. So it's like it's bittersweet. I'm excited with what my game showed this week. But when you get close at the end, you're kind of, you're wanting a little more. So overall, I was pleased with the way I played, and it was fun to be in the mix. Been a relatively slowish start to the year for me, and played well in Houston, and felt like I was building on some things there. And now to come here and kind of solidify, where my game's headed, feels really good. And I've got some work to do still. There's some things I still want to shore up a little bit, but really pleased with the progress I saw this week, and like I said, nice to build up the momentum I had there in Houston. Yeah, I think I alluded to it like earlier this week. I still think the driving for me is kind of the big thing. Typically, like, you know, if my iron play is good, you know, my putter can do some damage. But certainly today, I mean, I just hit some shots like really, really close, and I think that, you know, is a quick way to accelerate your rounds and to give you a bunch of confidence. I hit some you know, exceptional iron shots, and you know, credit to my caddy Jules. Pulled a lot of great clubs today, and we were in sync and making good decisions. So yeah, no, it was, you know, to hit the irons the way I did and drive it pretty well. Nice combination for me.
Mackenzie Hughes climbs 56 spots in the FedEx Cup standings, going from 97th to 41st. And Bob, a good week. To have a good week, given the number of FedEx Cup points available, signature event. But all in all, from what you heard from Mackenzie Hughes, what you saw from Mackenzie Hughes, what impressed you about his performance over the weekend?
You know, he talked about his driving. When I looked at the numbers, and I saw a little bit of it, but I thought his scrambling was remarkable. He's 23 of 27 for the 4 rounds. So he did miss some greens, but I think that's not surprising based on that course. You know, the greens are very small. It's very tight. It's not always easy to hit a lot of greens, but 23 of 27 up and down, man, that's a big number, and that goes to show you a lot about his skill with the putter, but also with those wedges. And as he said there, I think if that driver gives him an opportunity to attack the greens, then look out. But, you know, it's funny how Mackenzie always talks about wanting to become a more consistent golfer, always wanting to be that, and yet year after year after year, what happens mostly is that he goes through these ups and downs, and the downs are down, but the ups are very good. And to see him inside, you know, where he is in the FedEx Cup rankings, if he can hold that till the end of the year, we got a long way to go, obviously. I think that's a pretty important thing for Matt Hughes.
Mackenzie Hughes this season on the PGA Tour is 104th in strokes gained putting. Last season he was 3rd. So that, if you want to circle something for Mackenzie Hughes, that's something where if he shores up the putter, like you said about the consistency tee to green, it'd be great to see Mackenzie Hughes in contention more often. Now, Scotty Scheffler, we talked about the tournament last week when we were together actually in studio on Wednesday's show, how hasn't won this season on the PGA Tour, but he's still been pretty consistent for someone who hasn't won. He was 3rd in the FedEx Cup standings, top 25s in all 7 of his starts. Again, Scotty Scheffler did play well over the weekend, but that's another week and another week that Scheffler isn't lifting a trophy. Again, expectations sky high for Scotty Scheffler. Let's hear now from the world number 1.
Yeah, I did some good things. I just needed a few more shots out there, which was definitely there for the taking for me. I just didn't quite take advantage of them. But, I mean, I think I'm really close. I feel like I did a lot of things well this week. Just a few of the important shots I just didn't pull off, and outside of that, it was a pretty solid week.
Interesting. So Scotty Scheffler thinks he's close. His media avail was only about 40 seconds long. He didn't seem frustrated in that. I'll have much more on his frustration coming up in Winners, Weird and What. But looking at his short game numbers, 64th in strokes gained around the green the week, which is a puzzling one for Scotty Scheffler, and 34th in strokes gained putting. What did you see from Scotty Scheffler at the RBC Heritage?
The most of it, what I saw was the frustration was him not being able to do what he did last year. He won this tournament last year, so you'd think when you come in, you kind of are always going to win it. Obviously, that's never going to happen, but I think it's another week where he played great golf, and most people would be happy with what he did, but there was a lot of kind of raised eyebrow shots. I mean, he doubled that par 5 on the back 9 yesterday, hit it in the water with his second shot. So there's a bunch of, there's a bunch of little, we would call them little situations where he is not performing like he did last year, and they're all adding up to this sort of, not winning, but decent performance. But I don't know. Scotty Scheffler seems to be looking for something to kind of kickstart his season the way he did last year when he changed that putter, for instance, and started winning all those times, the 7 times on the PGA Tour. So I don't know. I think we'll, before the end of the year, we'll see the Scotty Scheffler we saw last year. It's hard to do what you did last year, the year again, year after year, to win 7 times in one season. My gosh, that's like ridiculous. And all those number ones he was in certain categories and in the stats, that's hard to do. So we'll see. It's still early. Still early.
And when he thinks he's close, he's got to be close. He's 8 starts this season. He's still 3rd in the FedEx Cup standings, 5 top 10s in 8 starts. Doesn't have a victory yet. So he's got to be close. But again, because of the season he had last year, people are expecting a lot from Scotty Scheffler this year. Who knows if ravioli didn't happen on Christmas Day, if they were having turkey instead or something, maybe he's got 4 or 5 wins already. We'll never know. Okay, before we go to break here, I want to hear from Daniel Berger, because Daniel Berger has had this renaissance after a long time out with injury. It's another good finish for Daniel Berger. Yes, I did have Daniel Berger on my squad for the week. Yes, I was rooting for him hard. Came up short. Let's hear from Daniel Berger.
Yeah, I feel like I played like I did today all 4 days. I just didn't make any putts the first 3 days, and it was a tough little adjustment coming from Augusta, and with the big undulations on the greens and fast greens, and just didn't quite adjust to that early enough. And but today I did and made some nice putts, and it's nice to kind of put myself in a good position and maybe not quite have a chance, but be up there and see my game trending. Yeah, I think throughout my entire career I've kind of proven that I'm a pretty consistent golfer, and when I get hot on a week here, a week there, then I have a chance to win. And obviously getting into some of these elevated events, not that it's taken pressure off, but it's allowed me to play golf courses that better suit my game, a little tougher golf courses. And I think that's been the biggest difference, is coming out to some places that I've played 8-10 times in my career, and knowing how to play those golf courses. Well, I think you can't control, the results, and the biggest thing is to just focus on your process and continue to do the things that you need to do. And I've done that the last, 10 weeks, and it's proven to, play great golf. It's just a matter of a few shots here or there going my way, and it's the difference between winning or finishing 2 or 3 back.
Daniel Berger, his last 8 starts, his worst finish is a T30, so very consistent, has outclimbed to 16th in the FedEx Cup standings, and will be another player Captain Keegan Bradley will probably strongly consider for the Ryder Cup later this year. Okay, when we come back here on Golf Talk Canada, we'll wrap up Hour 2, and we'll tee up what we're going to discuss coming up in Hour 2, right here, Golf Talk Canada.
This segment of GTC, presented by TaylorMade, was brought to you by WeatherTech Canada, Canada's leader in automotive accessories. TSN 1050, traffic.
Still finding delays out there eastbound on the 401 collectors at Warden. We have the right lane blocked there with a collision. Westbound 401 looking good right across the top. Westbound Gardner approaching Jameson, a stalled vehicle there off to the right shoulder. Eastbound side, that's still slow south Kingsway through towards Dufferin. Earlier troubles northbound Don Valley Parkway approaching York Mills. They have been cleared away. We had troubles westbound Lakeshore approaching Jameson. They have been cleared away as well. Westbound Bloor past Parliament. We do have problems there in the right lane. For 90 years, clients have trusted Thompson Rogers after devastating accidents. From the hospital room to the courtroom, Thompson Rogers provides real-life counsel. Visit trlaw.com. From the News Talk 1010 Traffic Center, I'm Robin Metcalf.
Uneven sidewalks, driveways, or patios, A1 Concrete Leveling is your solution. Our advanced technology can fix your concrete problems without the cost and mess of replacement. We offer free on-site evaluations and estimates. Don't let uneven concrete be a tripping hazard. Protect your property value by addressing these issues before they worsen. With decades of experience, we've earned the trust of homeowners and businesses alike. Call us for a quote today at 614-575-0123. A1 Concrete Leveling, your trusted local concrete leveling experts. These women are good people. Amanda Seyfried stars
It's our job to protect them.
in the riveting mystery thriller.
You gotta let it go.
I'll let it go when I find her.
Long Bright River. All new. Saturday at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on USA Network. Stream on Crave.
When you get into a new RAV4, you might suddenly find yourself camping. Even if the closest you've been to nature is your houseplants. Because with all-wheel drive, you can get in and right out of there. All that's left to do is drive it home. Get in and go right now at Toyota, where you can lease a 2025 RAV4 LE all-wheel drive from $106 weekly for 36 months at 5.69% with $2,500 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today.
Hey, it's Brian Hayes. My favorite part of this job is getting introduced to awesome services and being able to share them with you. Jiffy has changed the game in home maintenance. I use them for everything from plumbing emergencies to large painting jobs and seasonal work like window cleaning. So let me tell you about my latest amazing experience with Jiffy. I had a handyman, Matt, come over to tackle my long list. He fixed 2 cabinets that were loose, hung a few family pictures, redid the caulking in my shower. Jiffy seriously makes everything simple. He had all the supplies he needed on hand and wasted no time. I'm telling you, it's always easy and fast with Jiffy. That's got to be why Jiffy is Canada's #1 home maintenance app. I've been talking about Jiffy long enough. It's time you download the Jiffy app or sign up at jiffyondemand.com with the promo code SPORTS for $25 off your first job. Jiffy, Canada's #1 home maintenance app.
HBO's biggest series is back. The Last of Us. Don't miss the Emmy-winning HBO original critics call breathtaking.
We finished what we started.
The Last of Us. Stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe now at crave.ca.
Lately, times have been challenging, with many people facing increased interest rates, inflation, and rising credit card debt. Everyone needs a little help from time to time, but it can be hard to ask for help when it comes to your personal finances. But you're not alone. Millions of Canadians share that feeling with you. 500,000 Canadians have found help with their debt, and so can you with Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada. They are one of the largest non-profit credit counseling organizations in the country, with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They could help you consolidate your bills into one affordable payment, minimize your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. No matter how much you owe, you don't need to do this alone. To get help, call 1-800-656-7129. That's 1-800-656-7129. Let Consolidated Credit get you back to a debt-free life. Call 1-800-656-7129. Call toll-free today for a free consultation. 1-800-656-7129. Ontario license number 4705786.
Did you know even the smallest increase in mortgage rates can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your loan? Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. It's true, even just a 0.25% change in rate can cost you thousands. But with Third Federal's new Early Rate Lock, there's no worry. Early Rate Lock is the only pre-approval that locks in your rate at pre-approval, even before you find a house. And now through April 30th, get pre-approved with Third Federal and we'll pay all of your closing costs. So call Third Federal today.
This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by TaylorMade. This segment of GTC is brought to you by Play Golf Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the golf capital of the world, is home to 80 great courses, 60 miles of sandy shores, endless dining and entertainment. Visit playgolfmyrtlebeach.com to start planning your golf trip today.
Well, Bob, as we wrap hour 1 here, I have been in touch with Mark Zecchino. He enjoyed WrestleMania last night. He is currently on his way to the airport. So we are going to see Mark via DeGero, as we call it here. We're going to tape our TV show tomorrow. So it'll be good to see Mark back in action. It's going to be the first time the three of us are all in the same city, well, I guess since Augusta, but doing our show from studio. So looking forward to that. Golf Talk Canada tomorrow night and back here, TV and radio, 10 a.m. TSN Radio Network Wednesday, then throughout the day on the TSN television as well. Okay, that wraps up hour 1 here on GTC. Coming up in hour 2, we're going to hear from Adrian Reitfeld from TaylorMade. We're going to do winners, weird, and what. But to kick off hour 2, we're going to chat with the latest winner on PGA Tour America's Maxwell Moldovan. He'll join us as we kick off hour 2 in a couple minutes' time right here, Golf Talk Canada.
This segment of GTC, presented by TaylorMade, was brought to you by Play Golf Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the golf capital of the world, is home to 80 great courses, 60 miles of sandy shores, endless dining and entertainment. Visit playgolfmyrtlebeach.com to start planning your golf trip today. Thank you for listening to Hour 1 of GTC. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Golf Talk Canada and subscribe to our YouTube channel. For show archives, podcasts, and all things GTC, visit golftalkcanada.com. And don't miss Golf Talk Canada Television weekly on the TSN Television Network. TSN 1050. Traffic.
Still finding delays out there eastbound on the 401 collectors at Warden. We have the right lane blocked there with a collision. Westbound 401 looking good right across the top. Westbound Gardner approaching Jameson, a stalled vehicle there off to the right shoulder. Eastbound side, that's still slow south Kingsway through towards Dufferin. Earlier troubles northbound Don Valley Parkway approaching York Mills. They have been cleared away. We had troubles westbound Lakeshore approaching Jameson. They have been cleared away as well. Westbound Bloor past Parliament. We do have problems there in the right lane. For 90 years, clients have trusted Thompson Rogers after devastating accidents. From the hospital room to the courtroom, Thompson Rogers provides real-life counsel. Visit trlaw.com. From the News Talk 1010 Traffic Center, I'm Robin Meck.
HBO's biggest series is back, and it's only on Crave.
If you just keep going, you find something new to fight for.
The Last of Us, starring Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey.
There's no halfway with this.
Don't miss the Emmy-winning HBO original critics call breathtaking and masterfully tense.
What did you do?
I saved her. The Last of Us. Stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe now at crave.ca.
Are you looking to make your dental, eye care, med spa, or fitness business stand out? Hi, I'm Adriana, founder of Socially Cordial Marketing Agency. In just 3 hours, we can create 3 months worth of content to boost your brand's visibility. Stop managing who will create content for your business, and rest assured your brand visibility will finally grow. Triple your views and bookings today by visiting sociallycordial.com. That's SOCIALLYKORDIAL.com.
You sailed beyond the horizon, in search of an island, scrubbed from every map. You battled krakens and navigated through storms. Your spade struck the lid of a long-lost treasure chest. While you cooked a lasagna. There's more to imagine when you listen. Discover best-selling adventure stories on Audible.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
But don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp now for free information on how to get started today. InventHelp provides invention services that help everyday inventors get started with their idea. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. Our services include professional materials needed to showcase your invention, and 3D animation and prototype modeling that help you demonstrate your idea. Get down to the details of your idea with a technical drawing. The InventHelp Databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Take advantage of the opportunity to get started today.
Call 1-800-353-6013. That's 1-800-353-6013. Again, 1-800-353-6013.
CHUM AM Toronto is TSN 1050, an iHeart radio station and the voice of Toronto sports. Tomorrow on TSN 1050, the Battle of Ontario rolls on as your Toronto Maple Leafs face off against the Ottawa Senators in Game 2 of the first round. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. Hear it all on TSN 1050. The Leafs live here. This is Hour 2 of Golf Talk Canada, presented by Picton Mahoney Asset Management. For over 20 years, our focus has been helping Canadians stay invested in all market conditions, including this one. Why Picton Mahoney? Visit PictonMahoney.com. Now, here are your hosts, Mark Zecchino, Bob Weeks, and Adam Scully.
Welcome back inside Golf Talk Canada, Hour 2, the back nine here on the show. Adam Scully alongside Bob Weeks. Mark Zecchino will be back. TV tomorrow night and radio and television throughout the day here on Wednesday. Well, the latest winner on PGA Tour Americas is Maxwell Moldovan, who won the Brazil Open a couple weeks back, and he now joins us here on Golf Talk Canada. Maxwell, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. We're great, thank you. And not as great as you, because you are a winner on PGA Tour Americas. Your first career professional victory. I know it's been a couple weeks or 10 days or so since the victory. As you reflect and look back on the week that was, what are some of your emotions now?
Just a lot of gratitude. God is good. It's been the start to my pro career was not what I hoped or expected it to be. Last year, up in Canada, playing 9 events, I missed 8 cuts, and just kind of got off to a slow start. Was putting a lot of pressure on myself and struggled with my game physically, and then it led to some mental struggles as well. And just worked really hard over the off season, and thankful that PGA Tour U gave me status this spring on the Americas Tour down for the Latin swing, and I just wanted to make the most of it, and try to play each round with a lot of focus and confidence, and ended up actually missing the first cut down in Cordoba. And then that gave me a little bit extra time to adapt to the golf course in Rio, and I liked it a lot, and thankfully I just had a really good week, and it set me up for a great year, so I'm super happy.
Maxwell, as you look back now as a winner, you mentioned some things just there where putting too much pressure on yourself, expecting maybe a little bit too much. Now that you've won, how easy is it to reflect back and make those adjustments going forward, if that all makes sense? Now that you know what you didn't know before, how easy is it to move forward with your game?
I'm still kind of figuring that out, but it's definitely, I think just to myself, I'm not going to let myself put all that pressure on myself again, because I know it doesn't work. I know it doesn't produce good golf. And I've kind of learned over the last few months what does. And that's kind of really just, as cliche as it sounds, just really focusing on one shot at a time, one hole, one round at a time, and not worrying so much about what a good round or a good week could do for my career, but more just trying to hit the shot that's in front of me. That's been something that's worked really well for me. So I think just continuing to apply that will be important.
In conversation here with Maxwell Moldovan, the latest winner on PGA Tour Americas at the Brazil Open. And we got to talk about the winning putt. Take us through that winning eagle putt to get the job done.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I didn't know exactly where scores stood. There was a group behind us, so I figured someone in the group behind us was going to be close, in position to maybe birdie the last hole and win or tie us. So I was playing with George Markham, and he had an awesome chip in on that par 5 and had basically a tap-in eagle putt. So a tap-in birdie putt. So I kind of knew that eagle putt needed to get down there somewhere cozy where I could just tap it in and worst case have a playoff. So I had left a couple of lag putts short that day, so I, from 50 feet, wanted to make sure that I got it there. And as it was rolling, it halfway there, it looked really, really good, but I was worried it might come up just short. Thankfully, it got all the way there, and I keep saying I hit the putt, but God let it go in, because that thing lipped all the way around the hole and somehow went in. But that's a feeling and experience I'll never forget, that's for sure.
So what's next now that you've obviously got the win? You want to go for more, I'm sure, and try and build your way up and get onto the Corn Ferry Tour. But how do you take this win and use it to progress career forward?
Absolutely. I think it just gives me a lot of confidence. Like I said, I just kind of struggled to start my pro career, and that win on top of qualifying for Corn Ferry event and making the cut last week just really has given me a lot of belief in what my God-given abilities and talents are able to do at the professional level. Seeing myself succeed, knowing that if I play well, I can win golf tournaments out here or on any tour. So just trying to build off that, and my game feels great right now, so just making sure I stay out of my own way, kind of like I said, just try to keep hitting the best shot that I can, and add them all up at the end. But yeah, I'm super excited for the rest of the year. I mean, I enjoyed Canada, even though I didn't play well last year. I enjoyed being up in Canada a lot. Really cool places and fun golf courses. So I'm looking forward to being back up there this summer. And if somehow I can have a couple more really good weeks and get a 3-win promotion, that would be amazing. But yeah, just trying to play the best golf that I can and just see what happens.
With Maxwell Moldovan, the latest winner on PGA Tour Americas. So you make this bomb for Eagle to win. You have the trophy celebration. You do some media, and then you get to look at your phone for the first time. What was some of the reaction you got from close friends, family, when you opened your phone and saw texts and phone calls?
Yeah, a lot of people just telling me how proud of me that they were, how excited everybody was. I had a ton of people kind of throughout the week as I was in contention. A lot of people continued to text me that they were praying for peace and just praying for good things to happen. And yeah, it was cool to see a lot of cool things happen. And I had a ton of peace in those final 2 rounds, which is just prayers answered and a ton of support from people at home, people that through the last year of really struggling with my game have continued to be there for me and support me and push me toward my dreams. And then to kind of have that awesome week and then see how happy everyone was, it was really cool.
How did you celebrate, Maxwell? Was there? I mean, you're in Brazil. I'm sure it's not exactly where you haven't been there. I'm sure a lot of times. But what did you do to celebrate the win?
Well, we finished up at about 4 or 5 p.m. on Sunday, and then my wife and I had a 12:30 midnight flight back to the U.S., so we didn't have much time to celebrate, but we just hung out the course for a bit and then went to dinner with a friend of ours and flew back home, and then just kind of took a couple days of rest, which was nice to kind of, after a few weeks on the road, it's always nice to have a day of rest, especially after a really good week to try to soak it in. But yeah, pro golf, you can only enjoy it for so long because there's always the next week coming up. So try to shift my focus onto playing good golf moving forward.
Let me ask you, and you don't have to answer this question, it's a bit personal, but when you get a check for winning a tournament like this in a situation where you are, how important is that money to keeping your career on track?
It's huge. Like I said, to this point in my pro career, I just haven't really made a lot of money playing. So I think, as time goes by and you don't cash very big checks, it kind of adds up, and you kind of look at how expensive everything is. And but yeah, I've learned quickly that you can't really think about money while you're playing because that's just not a recipe for success. Worrying about, if I make birdie here, it's going to be an extra $1,000 or anything like that. Thinking like that has not got me very far. So, but yeah, I mean, it's super nice to have just some financial security now for the rest of the year. And travel's expensive playing pro golf, and just very grateful that that's something that we don't have to worry as much about the rest of this year.
It's a life-changing victory for you, Maxwell. I have 2 quick ones before we let you go. We spent a lot of our lead up into the Masters talking about the drive, chip, and putt, and it's a great tradition that the Masters has. And I understand that you got to take part in that 10 years ago now. What was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was awesome. I qualified to go to the finals at Augusta when I was 13 in 2015. It was just such a cool experience for my parents and I, going to a place I'd never been to Augusta or to the Masters before that. So getting to go down there, experience just kind of what the place was like. I mean, it truly is a special place, and you have a special feeling when you walk on the grounds there. And then to be able to hit a couple of putts on the 18th green and hit some drivers off the range during the drive, chip, and putt competition, it was super cool. And it's easy to take that for granted because it was only a couple of days being down there, but looking back, it was some of the most fun I've had in junior golf for sure.
It's a really special property, and so happy that you got to experience that 10 years ago. Now, final one before we let you go. We have a tradition on our show here on Golf Talk Canada in that we speak to the winners on PGA Tour Americas after they get the job done. So what do you say, Maxwell? You get another win or two, and you come join us on the show again this season?
Absolutely. That sounds good to me.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, congratulations on the victory. Play well this week, and as the PGA Tour Americas eventually comes here to Canada, too. Thanks again for your time today, and all the best you're going forward.
All right. Thank you guys for having me. God bless.
That is Maxwell Moldovan, the winner of the Brazil Open on PGA Tour Americas. And cool story, Bob. It's a really cool story to struggle the way he did last year, to start 9 times on PGA Tour Americas. You miss 8 cuts. And I've spoken with a number of people, whether they're friends trying to make it professionally or these athletes we've had on our show. And it's an adjustment, right? You go from college golf where everything is all laid out for you. Everything's, for the most part, paid for. Your clothes are all ready. And then you're sort of a lone wolf, right? You go out and you got to travel these places that you probably haven't been to before in Latin America.
You know, I think there's 2 ways for these guys to look at it. They can look at it as a challenge. They can look at it as a huge opportunity to not only play golf professionally, but to see the world, to travel around. Because when you're, as you said, when you're in university, you're pretty much in a box, and they take care of you, and they bring you here, and they let you loose, and they put you back in the box, and they take you there. And so it's I think if people see this as and it's tough when you're young, I know, and you're trying to make your career, but if you can see it as an opportunity, and most of the guys that I know who have been successful have done it that way, then it's pretty cool experience to be able to do this and play golf. And some make it, some don't, but sounds like Maxwell's on the right path.
Winner of the Brazil Open, Maxwell Moldovan. Again, congratulations, and looking forward to seeing what's next for Maxwell Moldovan. Okay, when we come back here on Golf Talk Canada, we've had this guy on the show before. Adrian Reitveld does a lot of behind-the-scenes gear work with TaylorMade, and we are at the TaylorMade Kingdom a couple months ago. We're going to play the interview with Mark with Adrian Reitveld coming up next right here on Golf Talk Canada.
This segment of GTC was presented by Picton Mahoney Asset Management. For over 20 years, our focus has been on helping Canadians stay invested in all market conditions, including this one. Did you wake up to this?
And I think most importantly, we begged and pleaded for this for years at the Scotiabank Arena. You were there live in the building, okay? I was watching just like millions of other people were. That crowd at Scotiabank Arena felt like a playoff crowd. So for anybody that's going to the game and for the rest of the playoffs in Scotiabank Arena, just commit yourself to be a fan. Forget the business talk. Forget the business life at the game. I know that's a big reason why crowds are the way they are at Scotiabank Arena. But understand there's a different level of expectation from the fans at this time of year. Watch that game, listen to that game, and see how your players responded to you being a fan and making that atmosphere in there feel like playoff atmosphere.
First up with Korolnik and Koliakovo. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on TSN 1050.
You ain't first, you're last.
You searched for your informant, who disappeared without a trace. You knew there were witnesses, but lips were sealed. You swept the city, driving closer to the truth. While curled up on the couch with your cat. There's more to imagine when you listen. Discover heart-pounding thrillers on Audible.
When the kids call and they say, "Hey, Dad, can you pick up Skyline?" I'm always like, absolutely. I'm halfway there because you don't have to tell me twice. That's the time for our family to be together, and Skyline's always been part of our family time.
A1 Concrete Leveling is ready to handle all your concrete needs. Caulking, cleaning, sealing, leveling, and even foundation repair. A1 Concrete Leveling has you covered. Call 614-575-0123 for your free estimate today. With over 30 years of experience, we are Ohio's most trusted concrete experts. Our team prides itself on delivering top quality results and exceptional customer service. Contact them today at 614-575-0123 or go to a1concrete.com.
These women are good people. Amanda Seyfried stars.
It's our job to protect them.
In the riveting mystery thriller.
You gotta let it go.
I'll let it go when I find her.
Long Bright River. All new. Saturday at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on USA Network. Stream on Crave.
Lately, times have been challenging, with many people facing increased interest rates, inflation, and rising credit card debt. Everyone needs a little help from time to time, but it can be hard to ask for help when it comes to your personal finances. But you're not alone. Millions of Canadians share that feeling with you. 500,000 Canadians have found help with their debt, and so can you with Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada. They are one of the largest non-profit credit counseling organizations in the country, with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They can help you consolidate your bills into one affordable payment, minimize your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. No matter how much you owe, you don't need to do this alone. To get help, call 1-800-288-4991. That's 1-800-288-4991. Let Consolidated Credit get you back to a debt-free life. Call 1-800-288-4991. Call toll-free today for a free consultation. 1-800-288-4991. Ontario license number 470578.
Your sneakers are staring directly at you. You try to look away, but you can't. You're lace to face. They're saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, and your six-pack won't be either. But you've got to start somewhere. Stop staring. Put us on. Take that first step, or lunge, or squat. Start small. Start somewhere. Join for $7.99 every 2 weeks at fitforless.ca and experience fitness simplified. Some conditions apply. Fit for Less. Everybody happy.
Tomorrow on TSN 1050, the Battle of Ontario rolls on as your Toronto Maple Leafs face off against the Ottawa Senators in Game 2 of the first round. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. Hear it all on TSN 1050. The Leafs live here. This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by Picton Mahoney Asset Management. This segment of GTC is brought to you by Cobble Beach, Georgian Bay's extraordinary waterfront golf resort community. To learn more about their award-winning golf course and growing community, visit cobblebeach.com today.
Welcome back inside the Golf Talk Canada. Well, a couple months ago, we got to go to the TaylorMade Kingdom to see all of TaylorMade's newest, latest, and greatest products. And while we were there, we got to see their tour truck, which is at each and every tour stop where people who work at TaylorMade get to work with players about adjusting equipment, trying new gear, that sort of thing. And while we were at TaylorMade HQ, Mark spoke with Adrian Reitveld, who is TaylorMade's senior manager of all things on tour.
All right, here in the tour van, Adrian, before we even get started here, good to see you. I haven't seen you since the RBC Canadian Open. Congratulations is where I want to start. Because what a year for TaylorMade.
Amazing.
And I was curious. I know the engineers talk about their personal pride in the product they create.
Yeah.
But you're the link to the best in the world and what they build and construct. From a personal standpoint, you must feel fantastic about the year that you've had.
I mean, it's been phenomenal. I'd say in my time, which is nearly 15 years on tour, it's the best and most successful year that I personally have had in terms of my link with the players and the success that they've had. Yeah, it was relentless, it never stopped, and long may it continue.
In the last year we've had, with QI10,
yes,
and now moving into the new series,
yes,
I think your job might have changed a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong, in the sense that, you know, it was a little simpler in the past where it's like, okay, here's the lowest spin model.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to play.
Yeah.
We all know that. And here's this. And here's that. And then all of a sudden this year, in 2024, now moving forward again in 2025, is,
for sure,
okay, hold on. we've got a max head, we've got the mainline product here, and then okay, there's still the LS over here. So from your standpoint, though, putting together the puzzle wasn't as simple in 24, and it's going to be the same way in 25.
I think you're dead right, and that's where the kind of joy of the job really comes in, because now you have more tools at your disposal to kind of give a player exactly what he wants. I think this was the whole foundation of carbon in drivers, because you're now able to develop that part of it, and what happens when you develop that is you now start to create options. And I think when you look at what Nelly plays versus what Scotty plays versus what Charlie plays, they're all unique in their own way. But going forward, we're pushing the envelope with that for sure, and the opportunity to dial in players even further, specifically from a dispersion standpoint or a forgiveness standpoint. I think that's what's happened. The evolution of players using more forgiving product without sacrificing something is pretty much, the toolbox is now full of opportunity.
Full of opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of opportunities,
Yeah.
QI35 will be the story for 2025. Matt Bovey, who comes from a history on the metal wood side and driver side, now doing irons, he thinks, he wants to stand up and applaud the guys when he talks about what they've been able to do with the CG and the MOI and marry these two things together as opposed to fight in the past. It's been an argument between the two.
For sure.
What's the reaction been like when you've seen players hit this so far? Anyway, we've seen video from Tommy Fleetwood and whatnot. What have you
I've
heard
seen
personally?
so we're now, we're well on our way to getting everybody's feedback, and I've worked with from Tommy to Scotty to Colin, Charlie, Brooke. They've all hit the product, and again, when you give somebody something new and you give them the opportunity to give you feedback for the first time, they're all unique in their own way. But then you do get consistencies as you start to collect all your feedback and your data, and I would say that the time it's taken from first hit to a desirable ball flight has been amazing. That's testament to what I would say is the forgiveness of the product, and then also to dial in the players' specifics in terms of their ball flight. It's been very impressive.
I'm curious, is there or was there, and maybe there isn't an answer to this, but was there an ask at the tour level? And the tour level is pretty broad, right? Because the tour level could LPGA, Champions Tour, PGA Tour, DP. But was there an ask from the players over the last few years at the highest level of the game that was a hard kind of box to check, or maybe something that just didn't align as easy as you'd want, that now in 2025 with some new products coming out, that box is going to be checked for the players? It's like, hey guys, remember you were asking about this back in 22 or back in... Guess what I've got for you this year?
So probably the best question I've been asked so far is what you've just asked me now. And what I will tell you is that as our tour staff has evolved, and as our strategy of providing the best performance product for the best players in the world has become front and center, that question is everything to us. Tommy hits a draw, Rory hits a draw, DJ fades it, Colin fades it, Nelly has to draw the ball. She can't see the ball going right. You see all these specifics, but they're all absolute opposites of each other in terms of what they want to see. So year on year on year, we can check a bigger portion of one half of the box. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So do we make a driver for Tiger, who wants to be a complete shot maker? Mm-hmm. I think we can now.
Right.
Whereas I would say in previous years, and we're getting better at it, it lent towards one type of player. Maybe it's a high spin player, maybe it's a low spin player, but whatever it is, and I would say, you could to simplify it, Colin Morikawa needs to see the ball moving left to right. Mm-hmm. Tommy Fleetwood needs to see the ball moving right to left. Mm-hmm. I can check both those boxes from a neutral standpoint now, whereas before I would have had to have worked much harder on one of them than the other because of the amount of weight that you have to move around. And I think that question, I hope I've answered it.
No, it makes sense to me, yes.
I hope I've answered it well, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to answer it better going forward. But I can really turn up to a fitting with a head and have both those players turn up, and I could get them both to hit it, and that for me is true performance.
Sure. So you, in a way, the options with this moving forward now is kind of almost simplified it a bit, right?
Absolutely.
You come with half the tool chest and get a better job done at the end of the day, right?
Exactly.
I'm curious, before we let you go, last year big surprise for us was seeing max heads show up, and then we saw 7 woods the last year or so. Probably. Is there a surprise in your mind that you think we're going to see like that this year coming up in 25, where it's like, I bet you didn't expect to see that out there on tour?
I think, so Nelly played the max head this year in 2024. Amazing head for her. You saw what she done, with the wins. You saw what Scotty did. I would be shocked if you didn't see our future max head show up on the men's PGA Tour. And that to me is a testament to the performance of the product, because the idea of the speed that's hitting that golf ball and what that product is able to do while maintaining its inertia properties, phenomenal.
It's awesome. Adrian, thank you so much. Congratulations on an awesome year. 24 was amazing. 25 looking even better from Team TaylorMade.
Let's go.
Always feel like I learn a lot when we have Adrian Reitfeld on the show, and hopefully we have him on again during RBC Canadian Open Week, as we've had him on the last couple of years on that show. And Bob, I know you are supposed to play golf this weekend. Have you taken your new QI35 driver out of the wrapping yet? Have you hit it?
I have not yet. I am planning to do that today. That's on the agenda. It's going to remove the old, put the new on, and hopefully they sing a little brighter for me this year than they have in the past couple years. Not that I think it's been bad, but I always want to be improving. And I think judging by what we saw when we went down to the Kingdom, the clubs are pretty special this year. They're getting a lot of good play on the PGA Tour and LPGA Tours.
They certainly are, and have to give a shout out to Mama Skulls, who was actually at TaylorMade HQ here in a little north of the city here in Toronto, and she got fitted for QI35. I think it was the max head driver. She was seeing 14 more yards, I think, if I have that correct. I might get a text in the commercial break about that. A 5-wood, and Bob, a 9-wood. Yes, got fitted for a 9-wood. Mama Skulls. I mean, have you seen a 9-wood as of late, Bob? Because I definitely have not.
No, I think Annika used to play with one of those years ago. I remember they used to call it the Annika wood, but that's good. Listen, if it works, who cares what it is?
Absolutely, and we'll have much more on TaylorMade in terms of content. We have a cool match that's going to be released on one of our shows either next week or the week after, which we shot back in November when we were there with Matt Bovey and our friends from TaylorMade as well. Okay, when we come back here on the show, another interesting week, both on and off the golf course. We'll do winners, weird, and what, and that's coming up next.
This segment of GTC, presented by Picton Mahoney Asset Management, was brought to you by Cobble Beach, Georgian Bay's extraordinary waterfront golf resort community.
A1 Concrete Leveling is ready to handle all your concrete needs. Caulking, cleaning, sealing, leveling, and even foundation repair. A1 Concrete Leveling has you covered. Call 614-575-0123 for your free estimate today. With over 30 years of experience, we are Ohio's most trusted concrete experts. Our team prides itself on delivering top quality results and exceptional customer service. Contact them today at 614-575-0123 or go to a1concrete.com.
Sometimes finding your way means following your heart, even if you don't know where it might lead.
No matter where I went, a part of me would always be here.
A new season of Sullivan's Crossing starts Sunday at 7:10 Mountain on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
Hi, Arash Madani here. At Honda, they built the CR-V Sport just like you build a team for the playoffs. Reliable performance? It's a Honda. Versatility? You've got all-wheel drive. High IQ plays? That's Honda sensing technology. Resilience and grit? You bet. After all, it's Canadian. Make your playoff drive count. Bring home the Ontario-built CR-V Sport. Lease today with rates from 0.99% for 24 months. OAC conditions apply. Made with domestic and imported parts. See HondaOntario.com.
Hey, it's Brian Hayes. Springtime means it's Jiffy time in my house. My yard is a mess, the barbecue hasn't been touched since last summer, and my windows, let's not talk about those. So I hopped on the Jiffy app and booked all 3 Jiffy jobs in seconds. Just a couple minutes later, I've got Jesse, Corey, and John coming by the house right when I need them. Trust me, Jiffy is a no-brainer for your spring to-do list. Download the Jiffy app or sign up at jiffyondemand.com with the code SPORTS for $25 off your first job. Jiffy, Canada's #1 home maintenance app.
Your date just asked for your Wi-Fi, but you have cable internet. Don't panic. Remain calm and reply with, "Darn, I forgot my